Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up weekdays. Catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening and good morning. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope this show finds you in good spirits. Another day above the dirt is always a blessing. And oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. I had to race all the way back home to give you guys this crazy update. And this, I gotta be honest, is absolutely insane. I don't know what to say about all this. I am still trying to wrap my mind around this as well. This is absolutely insane. Okay? Absolutely insane. You see the title above or down below, wherever you're watching this show right here. We got to get into this stuff. There's a lot to look at. There's a lot of stuff going on. People are talking. This is crazy. Okay? Man, oh man. So, do me a favor, hit that like button down below, crush it, do what it do, hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. If you are watching on those other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, show some love, hit that follow button over there. Subscribe here on my main channel, go to my secondary channel, The Pascal Show Clips, subscribe over there, The Pascal Show Clips. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure both notification bells on both platforms are set to all, because I'm always doing something that's random or it is breaking. Okay, all breaking news and all random news. Okay, so do that. Hit that join button down below. Check that out. Okay, become a member. Check out my Patreon and my locals, and of course, check out PascalMerch.com. PascalMerch.com. Some really great stuff over there. Go check it out. Okay, guys, we got to get into this. Oh my dear God. So another one, guys. We have another plane crash. Yes, and I'm not kidding. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. This really is real. So a Delta airline plane was landing in Toronto and crashed and flipped upside down. I'm not kidding. Flipped upside down. Okay? I thought this was AI for a second there. I'm going to be really honest. I swear on sweet baby Jesus, when I first saw this, I said, wait a second. This cannot be real. This has got to be AI. I'm sorry, instantly, because I'm like, how is this even possible? And we're hopefully going to get down to the nitty gritty of things. But first, we got to get into some of the meat and potatoes. This is what I saw first. Well, actually, a variation of what I saw first. It was this. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Okay, let's take a look at this footage.
We're in Toronto. We just landed. Our plane crashed. It's upside down. Fire department's on site. We're upside down. Everybody, most people appear to be okay. We're all getting off. Some stuff going on.
Take a look at that. First off, just feast your eyes on what we're seeing right here. Okay? This time, instead of it being, let's see, lost in the sea, all right, instead of it accidentally crashing into another jet and, hurting people and whatever, this time, this plane flips upside down. Yeah. Now, from what I'm understanding, which is also very good news, there has been no casualties. That we know of so far. Let me just say that we know of so far. Right now, they're saying 8 have been injured, at least from right before I came into this office and was getting everything set up and getting in here to talk to you guys about all this. Don't worry, I'm going to roll this again. I'm just going to get rid of the sound because it's just pretty, the image speaks for itself. But as you can see, I mean, first off, I'm going to say thank to the powers that be that everyone is okay from what we understand. What we're gathering is 8 have been injured. but the wings are gone. That's what I know. Somebody just said, yeah, where the wings at? Yeah, they're gone. Okay, they be gone. I don't know. They gone. They snapped off. So I don't know how this happened, and I'm hoping that they're going to have some sort of explanation. Hopefully there will be an explanation on what happened here. But what is going on with our planes lately? Because now we're seeing planes just dropping and just everything's all messed up. Everything's getting jacked up. Explain this to me. What in good graces is going on here? I want to say so many 4-letter words right now, and I'm not going to. Okay, because that's the easy route. I like to challenge myself every once in a while, but I want to know what the hell is going on here. How is this constantly happening on the reg? How is that happening on the reg all the time? Don't worry, we're going to be coming back to this. We want to know, I want to know, and I'm sure a lot of us want to know, what the hell is going on here? And how did this happen? How can we stop this from happening? But here's the thing. We got a couple of things I want to share before we go into like news clips and all that, okay? Because, like I said, the hits just keep on coming with these planes, y'all. It's crazy. But this is the plane from afar. Upside down. I know, upside down, upside down. Okay. So it says Delta Airlines DL 4819. Okay. I guess registration number N932XJ from Minneapolis crashed while landing at Toronto Pearson International Airport this afternoon. There are no confirmed details yet on casualties, because from what we understand so far, and this was reported this tweet was put out a little over an hour ago. Okay. So they are now saying that there's 8 people that have been hurt, but there may be more. There may be more injured and all that as well. Okay. But here's the thing. All right. How is this constantly happening? All right. They say no confirmed. Just going back to this, there are no confirmed details yet on casualties. All right. A Delta Airlines a CRJ 900 is upside down following the crash landing. Stand by for additional information. Okay. So. Emergency vehicles out there doing whatever the hell they need to do. This is so crazy. This is what the plane's supposed to look like. Right side up. All right. But again, I think a lot of us are trying to understand why on God's green earth is this happening again for the umpteenth time? Okay. But hold on, we're continuing on because there's clearly a lot of things that just don't make any earthly sense here. But let's take a look at this because there is footage, there's live footage showing everything that's going on. Actually, we're going to go to the news here right quick. All right, let's take a listen to this real quick.
We'll stand by. But in the meantime, I'd like to turn things over to CTV's Kamal Karmali, my colleague, who's at Pearson Airport right now. Kamal, what more can you tell us about what you're hearing from, I understand, the terminal?
Yeah. I'm going to tell it to you as a passenger perspective, Scott, because I was here about to depart for a vacation, and this was earlier in the morning. There was actually a technical malfunction with the plane. We got off, we were deplaned, our flight was canceled, and then as we were waiting for our bags, there was just a flurry of activity here, and a lot of talking as to what's going on, a lot of frustrated passengers, and all of a sudden, crews and staff members started telling passengers in bulk, in groups, going from pocket to pocket, telling people that, look, all flights, all departures and arrivals have been suspended on what's called a ground stop. They're saying that it was because of high winds that they're all grounded at this point. They're not saying that it's canceled. They're just saying suspended for now. But, I spoke to an Air Canada a staff member who said that, look, these are pretty much all canceled, or at least the flights upcoming are canceled. If you want to turn it back to me quickly, I just want to show you the lineup here. So this is what we're seeing here in terms of the wait. This lineup was non-existent just about an hour ago, and now it just snakes through here, as you can see. If you look at the board here, this board all says delays all along from top to bottom, and you can just see a massive crowd of people waiting here, really not moving. None of these people have really gone anywhere. This is the big lineup to get into the gate that goes to the U.S. airlines, and really it has not moved at all. So just giving you a snippet of what we're seeing here. Once again, staff telling passengers that all flights, arrivals and departures have been grounded here because of heavy wind, is how they put it. But now they're rephrasing it as to it is because of a crash in Terminal 3. Once again, let's clarify that I'm in Terminal 1, where Delta does not work out of, but all flights in 1 and 2 in both 1 and 3 rather in both terminals have been suspended for now, and I'm hearing likely canceled for the foreseeable future. Hours, we just don't know yet. It's too early to tell right now.
All right, CTV's Kamal Karmali.
Now, I will say this, okay? It has been fairly windy out there in these streets. Let's be real. I mean, I know a lot of people are about to get hit with, they say, like this Arctic blast that's going to be happening in the next couple of days and all that. And like I said, this is just, this is all happening over the next couple of days. So this is very interesting that this plane somehow was not able to land properly. And again, there needs to be an explanation. There's an explanation. There's an explanation that is needed for this, because something here just ain't right. Something just ain't mathing. Okay, this just is not mathing. Don't worry, we're coming back. We're going to be jumping back and forth to a lot of different things. I'm going to check out NBC News here real quick. Okay.
Toronto Pearson Airport confirming that a Delta Airlines flight from Minneapolis-St. Paul had a serious incident during its attempted landing in Toronto. The airport issuing a ground stop for all flights there. And it's because of what you see right here. Early images showing the aircraft completely upside down.
I mean, again, is this... Carl said, explanation, bad mother effing luck. Now, here's the thing, okay? There's no wing. Yes, guys, there's no wings. There are no tail. There is no tail, I'm sorry, because there's only one tail. But there's only one, the tail is gone. So this thing rolled, okay? This thing rolled. And again, the people should be thanking their lucky stars. The passengers on that plane should be thanking their lucky stars that they're only walking out with 8 injured right now, because it could be much worse. But again, what actually happened here? How did this happen? Why did this happen, y'all? Why did it happen? Okay, that's the piece that don't make no sense. All right, and I'm hoping that we get some sort of answer here very, very soon. Okay, and I'm with Court TV, man. Okay, shout out to Court TV. What's up? What's up? Okay, catch me road tripping for life. Okay, I'll be road tripping for life right now, because this is insane, and this is happening way too often. What you notice, we always see this is gonna sound weird. We always see trends, right? Every year we see some sort of trend that just latches on and stays on for a while, right? And then it starts to fizzle away. And I know that we're still in the beginning of. We are still in the beginning of 2025. Okay. So, but the thing is what, like there's like a trend now. Now we're just seeing planes dropping from the sky, right? There's always planes having some sort of accident, some sort of thing that's going on. What is up with this? You know what I'm saying? what's going on and why? And I know that there's been a lot of things like FAA, certain heads of FAA have been fired. There's been a lot of transitioning going on as of late and all that. But I'm still kind of curious as to, I'm still trying to figure this out, right? I think we're all still trying to figure out what is really going on here. Is it really FAA's fault? You know, I'm really hoping that we don't hear our elected leader. Okay, I really hope we don't hear Trump go back on a microphone and say this is all because of DEI. You see what I'm saying? There's certain things that I'm hoping that we just kind of, that we're going to be putting to the side, all right, and finding out why this is happening, because this is very strange. But there's an explanation for this. There's got to be. Why did this happen? And how did this happen? I'm also wondering if there's footage, if they're going to leak footage of this plane trying to land. There's got to be footage. There's got to be. So somewhere out there, okay, they have some footage of this plane trying to land. But there is a lot of gusty winds. I mean, shoot, I was driving back home last night and my car was swerving on the highway. And that was just driving. So I'm sure planes are going to have a hard time flying in this type of weather. But let's continue on. I'm going to let them cook for a little bit.
But the airport authority reporting, and this is incredible, that, quote, all passengers and crew are accounted for. I want to get straight to Tom Costello, our NBC News aviation correspondent. Tom, when you see that picture and you hear from the airport, and again, things are fluid at this hour, that everyone survived, it's quite incredible. What do we know right now? We can clearly see all that snow on the ground.
This was a regional jet. As you may recall, it was a regional jet involved in the incident in Washington a couple of weeks ago. This was a CRJ, a 900, and that means it can carry somewhere between 75 and 80 passengers inbound from Minneapolis into Toronto. Weather at the time, 18 degrees and blowing snow. Apparently, as it came down and landed on the runway, something went wrong, and somehow this plane ended up upside down. Literally, you're looking at the bottom of the plane there. There's an incredible image right there as the plane is upside down. Toronto Pearson Airport firefighters on the scene very quickly and hosing it down. The amazing portion of this, as you mentioned, the airport is tweeting that all passengers and all crew accounted for. And the question is going to be, what happened? Was it in the landing? Was it in, did they hit ice as they were landing and unable to control the plane? There are a lot of unanswered questions right now. But
again, look at all that snow. That's a whole lot of snow, y'all. So I'm wondering, did they land and then it just kind of, you got to understand, they're coming down pretty damn fast. They're not landing at like 5 miles an hour. They're coming down at hundreds of miles an hour. And then they're slowing everything down as quickly as they possibly can. So imagine if they hit some sort of black ice or just a snowy patch. That could totally destroy everything, right? So still, like, you're coming down pretty damn fast. And you hit that landing strip. I mean, shoot, anything's possible. Anything's possible. So what happened here that caused this plane to tumble over and end up on its head, right? On its top when it landed, okay? This is wild. Yeah, T. Yeah, if we can't blame the FAA or the DEI or Trump, can we just blame Drake? You know what I'm saying? Drake? Okay? Because what's up with this, man? Okay? A minor. Okay, so moving on. And by the way, speaking of Soulja Boy, Drake, have y'all seen Marlon Wayans diss track on Soulja Boy? Take some time and go listen to it. It's hilarious. That's all I got to say. It's a country song. It's a country diss track on Soulja Boy. Just go check it out. It's hilarious. Sorry, changing the subject. Back to where we were. Okay, let's take a listen to a little bit more.
More than anything, I think everybody is grateful, Tom, that nobody has been killed, according to the airport. The Association of Flight Attendants has just tweeted that the union representing flight attendants is responding to an incident in Toronto with Delta and Endeavour Flight 4819. That's the regional carrier for Delta. Crews are working this flight. We're working the flight, rather, and there are no fatalities, according to the union. We have had a series of aviation incidents of late, Tom, as you well know. The one here in Washington. We also had a terrible medevac plane crash in northeast Philadelphia with 7 dead there. We had 10 people killed in a crash just off the coast of Nome, Alaska. And now we have this incident. But thankfully, at the moment, no fatalities reported.
And Tom, we just got some new information. NBC News has confirmed that 8 people are injured. We know that one of those 8 is in critical condition right now. You mentioned a key piece of information there. This is flight 4819. I think that's what you said. This was a CRJ 900. Tom, the airport also tweeting that in the last week, they've gotten about 20 inches of snow, more than they received in all of November, December, and January combined. You can see those piles of snow there. Talk to me about the rescue effort there, because we saw those fire trucks out there shooting what looks like a fire suppressant on top of these planes, but we're talking about freezing conditions out there.
They're going to do that immediately, because if they have a fuel tank rupture, they need to immediately. And by the way, there's some amateur video out there suggesting that there was quite a bit of heavy smoke immediately after this incident. Fire crews are going to be at the end or at the point of where that crash has occurred. I think the rule is they've got to be there within, I want to say it's 90 seconds, but I'm not positive. They're all governed by the same FAA, and the FAA regs and the Canadian regs are the same. They've got to have a very robust fire response very quickly. But that's amazing. You've got everybody out and some injuries, but no fatalities. It is, as we mentioned, this is operated by Endeavour. And as you know, most of the airlines have a kind of a sub-carrier, if you will, that handles the regional flights. So that appears to be what that is. Then a regional flight for Delta Airlines, Minneapolis to Toronto in pretty rough landing conditions.
I mean, this is just scary. You know, and like I said, like Court TV said earlier, like, yo, I'm road tripping for life. Like this is some scary stuff. But I got something else that I saw here. Don't know if this is entirely real or not, but you know, remember they were saying that they saw smoke, right? That they were seeing smoke coming out of the from the plane. There was another plane. It looks like, hold on, let me make sure I got the information correct here. So this, of course, they're talking about this plane crash. Take a look at this plane crash here. What's happening? What's happening? This is the third plane crash in just 2 months, which is there's been more than just 3, but there's been a lot. Okay, this is really horrible. And then, of course, this is apparently from somebody else riding in another plane. Don't know if this is entirely real, but we're gonna play it anyway. Take a look at this. Yeah. Look at that. So when they said we hear that some amateur videos are out there showing plumes of smoke and all that, yeah, that's right there. That'd be smoke, y'all. Okay, that'd be a whole lot of smoke. And I just muted it because obviously they're not saying anything other than just showing what's going on here, and this is terrifying. But look at this, though. Look at this. Let me roll that back just a little bit. You see this? Look at this runway. See where my mouse is? I'm assuming this is a landing strip, right? Where they can land and take off, land and take off, land and take off. But look at this. Look at all that snow. All that snow, potential ice, etc. This is some scary stuff, y'all. I ain't trying to fearmonger. I'm just saying I'm just stating the obvious. This is scary. And once again, we got another plane down. Yeah, Santos. Another one. And this is terrible. This is terrifying. Straight up terrifying. We got more. You know, there's obviously more and more information slowly trickling out. So now we understand one person is in critical condition. One person, okay? One person is in critical condition. 8 people are injured. 1 is in critical condition. I'm hoping they're okay. Real talk, I hope that they're okay, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, there's another video. It's really fast, so I'm not going to play it for you, but you can find it on X. It shows like somebody's like trying to rotate their camera or their phone, but you can see the plume of black smoke coming out from that very area too. So it ain't like fake news or anything as well. So again, this is all it's all bad. This is all bad. But hold on, we got more. Okay, sorry guys, just trying to get things, more information for you and all that. Here's another one right here. Let's take a look at this. This is wild, y'all. I mean, this is crazy. This is only going to get crazier, guys. Oh my gosh. This is just nuts. We got more stuff though. We working here, guys. We cooking. So just like I said, this is all just breaking stuff, breaking news. I mean, again, of course, we're all still trying to figure out what actually happened here.
Hey, good day. We are coming on the air with breaking news out of Toronto. Toronto Pearson Airport. NBC News aviation correspondent Tom, when you see that
portion of this, come on, tends to get sticky for some.
You never know. You never know when you're going to need it. In flight, at altitude, with turbulence, or God forbid, you have an emergency like this on the ground. I did want to stress what you mentioned, though, from the FAA statement. It will be the Transportation Safety Board of Canada in charge of this investigation. However, you could imagine the NTSB will also be assisting because this plane originated from the States. It's an American carrier, so they will be a party to the investigation. But the Canadian TSB will be running it, and they work hand in glove with the NTSB, really considered to be one of the world's premier aviation investigative agencies, Tom.
You know, I do want to ask you a little bit more about that because this happened obviously in Toronto. We know this is Toronto's largest airport, just over Lake Ontario from Buffalo. What more can you tell our viewers about this airport and maybe some of the regulations, the guidelines, and their safety standards there in Canada?
They are very much in sync with the FAA, the aeronautical civil aviation authorities in Canada and the FAA work hand in glove. They sync up all of their rules and regs. And so this is almost going to seem like it happened at an American airport in terms of the response. The Canadians and the Americans coordinate every single day on aviation, on air traffic control, on investigations. Their transportation safety boards cooperate on a regular basis, not just, of course, for a commercial aviation incident, but also if you've got a private plane, for example, that went down flying from one country to another. So there is a very, very close cooperation. And as you would expect, this is the busiest airport in all of Canada. I often say on the air when we're talking about watching how airports in the United States are impacted by weather, for example, I often say, well, don't forget about Toronto. It's literally right across the border, and it is a major airport that is also affected and affects airports in the United States. So they have a ground stop in effect there at Toronto, and that will impact not just traffic in Canada, it will affect also traffic down to the United States. And Tom, you know, a lot of folks who are going to Europe, for example, from the States, they will go through Toronto and then on to Europe and vice versa, coming back that way. So this will have a ripple effect today.
Tom, stand by for us. If you're just watching right now, we are covering the breaking news out of Toronto. There has been a plane accident, as you can see on your screen here, a Delta Airlines plane, flight 4819. It's a CRJ 900, has flipped over. There were 80 passengers, pilot and crew on board. Toronto Pearson Airport saying they have all been accounted for. We understand that at least 8 people are injured, 1 in critical condition. Joining us on the phone live now is Jeff Guzzetti. He's an NBC News aviation analyst and a former FAA FAA and NTSB investigator. It's so great to have you, Jeff, on a night like this, on a day like this, because of what we're seeing here. Talk to me about what stands out to you about the accident you're seeing in front of your eyes right now. I'm noticing some damage there on one of the engines, but also you're looking at an airplane that is completely upside down.
Hi, Tom. Yeah, so this is a very serious incident. You don't even see the wings connected to the fuselage. Something must have happened during landing. Perhaps it cartwheeled. We just don't know. But to actually have a fuselage lying upside down without its wing box means that something significant happened. And it's just amazing that there was no loss of life. So it's just a matter of determining, looking back on what was happening to this airplane as it was on final approach. We know the weather conditions were extremely gusty, and perhaps that could have been an issue. But to have an airplane, what also strikes me, Tom, is there doesn't appear to be a giant fireball. There is some fire damage, but the fuselage looks fairly clean with its wings broken off.
But there was a huge plume of black smoke coming out of it. And of course, they were spraying it down, and I'm sure they were just putting on some sort of flame retardant on there as well, just as a safety precaution. But there was black smoke emulating from that plane, from that area. We all saw the footage. We just saw it. You know what I mean? So most definitely there was some sort of fire that went down. You know, there's no question on that. Be sure to hit that like button down below, guys. Okay, crush that subscribe button, please, and thank you. All right, I see a bunch of y'all in here, and I appreciate you guys for spending your time with me here. Crush that subscribe button a lot. Really, it does. If you can get it to 800 likes, that would be dope as hell. Let's get it to 800, okay? A like don't cost a thing. I'm keeping you guys informed on what's going on here. Let me get the super chat here really quick. Rianne, thank you so much for the love. Tragedies seem to happen in categories through the years. Yeah, it does seem to be that way, right? It just seems like there's these trends that happen. Now we're in the trend of planes falling from the sky, or planes crashing like they have been as of late. I mean, this is scary stuff. And I'm wondering when I want this trend to end now. I wanted this trend to end a long time ago, but this trend needs to end now. Okay? Because this is getting scary. Real talk, this is getting scary. And if it's either because of landing gear or mechanics or something of that sort, something is not right, and that needs to be fixed as soon as possible. But I digress. Let's hear what they got to say here.
I want to ask you about that, because we have a shot of the engines up close. What appears to be the right engine, but it's flipped over, so it would appear to be the left right now. But you can see the streaks of black there. Is that what you were talking about, possible fire damage on that side?
Yes, absolutely. So there appears to be some fire damage there. But, Tom, we don't know whether that was whether that occurred in flight or as a result of the impact sequence. But there's definitely some fire damage there. And it seems to be localized to that area.
And that this happened in the middle of winter with what the airport is reporting, 20 inches of snow in the last week. Post-accident, does that snow actually help in an incident like this, or does it get in the way?
Oh, boy, it's difficult to say. So as long as the runways are clean, then you've got a good surface to land on. And I'm sure they were clean. It just depends on how much snowpack or snowbanks the height could have been as the airplane careened off of the runway. But I don't think it was that much of a factor in this case. And, as I'm looking at that engine, Tom, you can see some longitudinal soot marks as if the fire did occur in flight, because that's how you would get it to those soot marks to translate horizontally down the longitudinal axis of that engine. So again, just another clue that investigators will look for.
Talk to me about the pilot and the flight attendants here on this flight, able to get everybody out of that plane, some who may have been trapped upside down.
That would have been an incredible situation. So, certainly they know there's a problem. They're sitting upside down in their seats. So at that point, the two flight attendants would have done their best to try to get people out of the aircraft. So people are going to have to actually unbuckle themselves and perhaps fall down towards what would be the ceiling. And fortunately, it's a fairly small airplane, so the fall wouldn't have been that great. But still, there could have been some injuries just by unbuckling your seatbelt and trying to extricate yourself out of the airplane.
No doubt.
You can bet that the flight attendants are doing their best to yell and to find ways for the passengers to get out as soon as possible.
Jeff, you know, a lot of American viewers across the country are going to be watching this, and they're going to be thinking to themselves, there seems to be a lot of accidents. Is this just sort of an unfortunate series of events? And flying obviously is still very safe. We've just had these high-profile incidents back to back to back.
Well, I must tell you, I mean, this accident, I can see why the public would be very concerned. I still believe that commercial aviation is extremely safe, but it is extremely unusual to have these commercial accidents. And we're not talking about, you know, private airplanes. We're talking about scheduled commercial airliners, like what happened in Washington, D.C., like what happened in Nome, Alaska, like what happened here. And that's very unusual. We haven't seen this spate of commercial accidents in quite a while. And it's just going to make people even more sensitized to flying. But, you know, I still think it's safe, but obviously there needs to be some attention to be put on this.
Jeff, stand by for us. I want to get back to Tom Costello. We are getting some new information now. We are being told there have been 9 people injured. One child was transported, and one person had to be airlifted to a trauma center. Tom, I want to go back to you. Have we heard from the airline? Are there any more statements coming out from the airport about what's happened here in Toronto?
Yeah, the airport has only tweeted out the following, that in fact they did have a plane crash there involving the Delta flight coming in from Minneapolis, and making the point that everybody has been accounted for, passengers as well as crew members. And then we heard from the union representing the flight attendants that they are responding to Toronto to assist their members who are working that flight. This is Minneapolis into Toronto, you know, kind of a regular hourly flight, if you will, that goes back and forth from the United States right into Toronto on a regular basis. I did want to, underscore, to pick up on the conversation you were just having, though, in terms of the recent string of aviation incidents, Tom. This is going to yet again raise the concern about FAA staffing, air traffic control staffing. Now, this is a Canadian air traffic control tower, and this is under Canadian authority once it crosses the border. And yet, as you know, there has been this talk about maybe staff cuts at the FAA as a part of President Trump's effort to trim down the federal workforce. And yet, as you also know, the FAA has been complaining for years that they are understaffed in critical job positions, especially air traffic control. I was having a conversation with somebody today about whether air traffic control in America is being affected by the staff cuts. So far, not to their knowledge. And yet other positions related to maintaining critical equipment appear to have been cut. So this is going to feed into all of these recent incidents, and the safety of the total air traffic system is going to be very much a part of the conversation as we go forward, at least on this side of the country, of the border, I should say. Let me just underscore again, this is a Delta regional flight, and as a result, you're talking about maybe 75 to 85 or so passengers on board, part of that normal routine. By the way, the RJ, the regional jet, this is a Bombardier, so it is made in Canada. And these jets have a history of being a very robust plane, able to handle colder conditions.
The workhorse of those regional airlines and those air fleets. We got some ATC audio of when this accident occurred around 2:18 Eastern. Let's listen in.
This airplane just crashed at 23. 7105, full up, go around.
That's basically all we have right now. Essentially, the moment when they realize.
Excuse me. Sorry. What? Okay, I'm sorry. I got to roll that back. That was freaking fast. Say that again. What?
This airplane just crashed at 23. 7105, full up, go around.
That was fast. She's like, airplane just crashed. Right?
That's basically all we have right now. Essentially, the moment when they realized that airplane had crashed. Tom, one of the things these major airports like Toronto Pearson have is their own fire departments, and they can react and get to these planes within seconds. As we see 2 of those vehicles from Toronto Fire right there over that bombardier that has been flipped over.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is a requirement according to the International Air Transport Association, IATA, sorry, which is essentially the global airline and airport regulator. If you're going to be accepting and sending commercial flights into the air or coming into your airport, you've got to have professional fighters and updated equipment on site and able to get down to the runway. And I forgot the exact number, but I want to say it's either 90 seconds or 3 minutes. And sorry for not knowing that off the top of my head. But the bottom line is they have to have a very fast response time. Doesn't matter if you're in Canada or the United States. I'm now told, 3-minute response time in order to get to the crash site from wherever that fire station is on site. And that is going to be all over the country, all over Canada. It's the same response time, Tom.
Tom, we appreciate that. If you're just watching right now, we have been following this breaking news out of.
I mean, this is nuts. This is absolutely nuts. There's more. I'm just gathering as much information as I can. I mean, there's a couple updates revolving around this whole thing, so I'm going to share that with y'all here. But yeah, now they're saying, wow, the numbers keep on going up, and now they're saying 2 minutes ago. Here's an update. They're sitting here saying that at least 15 people, including a child, have been injured in this Toronto crash landing. Okay, CTV reports citing paramedic services. So at least 15 people now, including a child, were injured in the crash landing at Toronto Pearson International Airport. Canada's CTV reported, citing the Peel Regional Paramedic Services. So 2 people are in critical. 2 people now are critically injured, but none of the injuries are considered life-threatening, which is good. Okay, the paramedic service said. So there are no people have lost their lives. All crew and passengers are accounted for, it said, according to CTV. But still, the anxiety, right? The fear of flying, because obviously this is going to make a lot of people be scared to fly. Period. Right? This is going to make everybody very, very mindful of, like, oh man, because like right now, this is not keeping the people, the public, feeling 100% about wanting to get into a plane and fly, right? And I know there's a lot of people who sit there and go, well, you're more likely to get hurt in a car accident than you are flying in a plane. But those odds seem to be changing fairly rapidly when you start seeing planes from all over just falling from the sky, having crash accidents, crashing into other planes while landing, okay, and then some. So, I mean, when something like this happens, yeah, I can see the average consumer that's ready to go and do some big, huge trip out to, Milan or something like that. I mean, I can see some people getting a little bit cautious or a little bit scared about hopping on a plane to fly, even to just like, say, Hawaii, or even just to take a plane across state lines. That's a quick, hour, less than an hour flight, right? So, this is some scary stuff. So moving on, it says the aircraft is upside down and burning. So that is true. Okay. But we all saw the footage. Okay. Aircraft is upside down and burning. Helicopter pilot describes scene after Toronto runway crash. So the medical helicopter was in the area and offered to help after the Delta Airlines plane crashed on a runway at Toronto Pearson International Airport on Monday, according to the air traffic control audio. We got permission from OCC, Operations Control Center, to land North End and assist with its crash if needed. This is what the helicopter pilot said. The pilot then asked for more details about the crash. The workers in the control tower gave specifics about the location of the crash and the type of plane as heard on the radio. So it's Life Flight 1, Medevac. Just so you are aware, there are people outside working around the aircraft there. This is what air traffic control said. Yes, we've got it. The aircraft is upside down and burning. This is what the helicopter pilot responds to, according to this audio. Okay. And of course, this happened in the Toronto area. But like I said, the numbers keep going up. At first it was 3 people, right? Now we have 15 people now. As of 6 minutes ago, 15 people that have been injured in this crash. But they, even some, okay, two are critically injured. But now they're saying that it's not life-threatening, so that's very good, right? So that's a very good thing. But still, scary to see that all this is going down in the way it has been going down. We're continuing. We're looking. We're trying to see if there's any more other updates that are going on here, because this is just crazy. Let me see what about CTV. Let's see if CTV got shum. CTV News Canada. Let's see what they say. They say what we know about the passengers.
Once again, here's a live look at Toronto's Pearson Airport. We continue to follow breaking news out of Canada's busiest airport. Police confirm a small commuter plane is down. The plane is a Delta Airlines flight that was en route from Minneapolis to Toronto when there was an incident upon landing in Toronto. You can see the plane right there in the middle of all those emergency vehicles. It is upside down on the runway. Arrivals and departures have been suspended at this time. Peel paramedics say up to 8 people were injured in the incident, but right now the severity of all those injuries is unclear. We are hearing from Air Ambulance that one pediatric patient is currently being transported to sick kids with critical injuries. One man in his 60s is being transported to a hospital in Toronto with critical injuries, and also one female patient, one woman in her 40s, is being taken to hospital as well with critical injuries. Pearson Airport posted a short statement on X. It reads, Toronto Pearson is aware of an incident upon landing involving a Delta Airlines plane arriving from Minneapolis. Emergency teams are responding. All passengers and crew are accounted for. Here's more from CTV News aviation specialist Phil Dirty.
There's pretty sketchy right now on what exactly happened. It's a CRJ 900 operated by Delta Connect. It is upside down on the runway. From what I've heard, the wings are missing, but people are getting out of the aircraft. It's the most hazardous part of the flight, right? When you're slow and close to the ground. So, but the pilots are very well trained in the simulator, doing reduced visibility landings, practicing crosswind landings. So, like I said, we just have to wait and see what the black boxes say and the interviews with the pilot.
And here's a social media post from Transport Minister Anita Anand posting this statement saying, I'm closely following the serious incident at Pearson Airport involving Delta Airlines Flight 4819 from Minneapolis.
This is wild. Wow. Hold on. I got some things I want to share. And again, hold on. Make sure I got it over here. Again, I still trying to figure out. This is interesting. Don't know if this is real as well, but I'm going to share with you guys regardless. This is somebody recording themselves inside the plane and saying that they were, they're upside down. Don't know if this is real, so just take it with a grain of salt, because people can be crafty out here and people move quick, especially with this technology stuff and everything. But this is pretty crazy.
Okay, no. What the fuck? Get the
Yeah.
I was just in a plane crash. Oh my god. I was just in a plane crash.
Looks real to me, but look at that fire. Look at that fire right there. Boom, boom. Look at that fire. I mean, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see, it looks legit to me too. But some people are like, I don't know if it's real. It may not be real, but that's mother loving real, in my personal opinion. Okay. Who has time to make this that quickly? You know what I'm saying? But Yeah, no kidding. Recording immediately afterwards, but not my style. But it is 2025. No doubt, it's 2025, and everybody got. Listen. I'm going to be completely real. If I am, able-bodied, and there are people there aren't any people that need my help, or they're sitting there backing me off and saying, we don't need your help, get out, move away from the plane. I'm sorry, this is a sight that no one has ever seen before, right? In person. And the fact that you survived it, I'm at least taking a photo. I'm gonna be real, I'm taking at least a photo, because I don't ever want to forget that, because that is terrifying. At least I'm you know what I mean? At least I'm feeling 5 seconds like, yo, this is crazy. Oh my God. I just walked out of that thing and I'm still alive. I would just film it for 5 seconds. First, I'd be like, you sure you don't need my help? You sure? You sure you don't need a hand? You sure you don't need my help? Okay, I'm pulling my phone. I'm still alive. And then I'd call my mom. I'm going to be real. I'm calling my mama. I'm sorry. I'm going, Mama, love you. Gotta hold it down. Okay. Or I'm calling my family, right? And then, on that list. Oh my God, this is crazy. Okay. Yeah, his name is, yeah, I know. Yeah, I thought that same thing, Martian Planet. I was like, feel dirty? Feel dirty. Okay. But yeah, but hey. Adam, I understand the nerves. Okay. I do. Trust me, I do. Just be safe. I don't think these are some wild situations that we're seeing, right? But at the same time, it's not happening every day. It's not happening all the time, and so your chances are still good. Okay, so just breathe. You'll be fine. Okay, you'll be fine. But this is a lot. This is a lot, especially with how consistent it has been lately. So I can understand everybody's concerns, but I believe that things will be nipped in the bud here very, very soon. I hope. Okay, I hope, but we'll see. Shoot, where's Denzel Washington when you need him? All I'm saying, I'm just saying, where's Denzel? Okay, you better land this plane, Denzel. But let's see. There's I'm sure more updates. They're saying, and I've been hearing other reports of saying that there's 18 that are injured, but right now I've only heard 15 so far. Okay, but we'll see. All right. Let's see. Here's looking at images of the photos, which we already saw all this. Let's see. Aviation officials assisting in Toronto crash investigation. Let's take a look at that. So U.S. aviation officials assisting in Toronto crash investigation. So the NTSB, which, by the way, NTSB is very busy right now. Okay? Very, very busy. I don't know if there's going to be a presser. I haven't heard anything about a pressure. I haven't heard anything about a presser as of late, but if there is going to be one, we gonna see it. We gonna see. All right. But NTSB, the National Transport Safety Board, is leading a team of investigators. They're all over the map. Now they're in Toronto, y'all. Okay. They busy. All right. In the United States to assist the Transportation Board of Safety Board of Canada with the investigation into a Delta Airlines plane that crashed on landing in Toronto. The agency said, per the International Civil Aviation Organization's Annex 13, any information about the investigation will be released by the Transportation Safety Board of Canada. Okay, so the ICAO, references 19 technical annexes to maintain uniformity in the International Civil Aviation. Annex 13 outlines how accident investigation participation is determined, according to the Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy on X. Federal Aviation, or the FAA, investigators are on their way to Toronto, and the secretary, has been in touch with his counterpart in Canada to offer assistance. Let's see if there's a new update. Delta confirms Toronto flight was carrying 80 people, including 4 crew members. Now, I'm wondering if any of the crew members have been hurt, if they're included in the injuries, because you got to remember some of these, they all get ready for landing and everything, but they're sometimes they don't have the safety, for the crew members aside from the pilots. I'm talking about like the flight attendants, right? It does make you wonder if they were fully strapped in or not, because sometimes their seats are crap, to be honest. Okay. But Delta Airlines confirms that the aircraft that crashed at Toronto's Pearson International Airport was carrying 80 people. So the flight was carrying a total of 80 people, 76 passengers, and 4 crew, the statement said. Given the CRJ 900's configuration on Delta flights, a count of 80 passengers and crew means the flight was full when it crashed. So this is what the a correspondent said on CNN. So Delta is working to connect with customers traveling from, to, or through YYZ who should also monitor the status of their flight via the Flight Delta app. Okay. Delta's statement continued using the airport's IATA code to refer to Pearson. So several customers with injuries were transported to area hospitals. Our primary focus is taking care of those impacted, it said. Now, here's the thing. There is a lot of people that I'm sure not only physically, but mentally have been, there's some serious trauma going on here. Okay. This is a scary, very, very scary situation nonetheless. And of course, it's wild to me that this is even, I'm still trying to figure out how this thing is real. Like, I just still can't believe. I just still can't believe this is real. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around this. Okay. I'm still trying to figure this out. I'm sure you guys are all trying to still figure this out too, but let me check this out here.
The dramatic 31% increase in civilian deaths in 2024 compared to 2023.
Nope.
Lately, we received the chilling news that the radiation shelter of the Chernobyl.
No, that's something else.
Once again,
that is something else. Hold on.
Plane has crashed. Here is a live look at the plane crash. This is still on the tarmac at Pearson Airport. The airport says the Delta jet inbound from Minneapolis crashed on landing, and paramedics say up to 8 people are hurt. Though the federal transport minister's office has confirmed there have been no fatalities. Planes are not taking off or landing at the moment. We will continue our coverage right now with CTV's aviation specialist, Phil Dirty. Phil, thanks a lot for taking time to speak with us. So just your initial reaction right now from looking at this plane upside down.
Hey, Bakari. Yeah, really bad incident. Thankfully, nobody was seriously hurt. There have been some 8 injuries reported, but they've accounted for all the passengers. The winds at the time were around 27 knots, gusting to 35 knots, a little bit of a crosswind. The runway conditions aren't that bad, so we're not exactly sure. Wind was probably could have been a factor. Right now, all the aircraft that were inbound to Pearson are diverting. It looks like there was one aircraft that is just landed at Pearson coming in from Ireland, and there is a Air France aircraft which is actually orbiting over Madoc, over by Campbellford, and they're just waiting to come into Toronto.
Okay, that's crazy because they're sitting around and they're waiting, right? They're waiting for this for their chance to go down. I mean, I don't know if they've already landed at this point, but I mean, real talk. I mean, just trying to get this thing to land, I'm sure it has been a tough one to even do, to say the least. But hold on, real quick, I want to. someone just sent this to me too. And so I want to share this as well so you guys can see this, because again, this is just an example of the roads right now in Canada itself, right? And they sent this and they said Dunlop or Kelsey sent this and from Canada, right? This is Canada right now. We have had a weak blizzard. These are the roads right there. So imagine that. Roads looking like that, right? Like this is not good. Okay? And imagine landing a plane on roads or like a runway that looks like this. Okay? Because you know for a fact and I've seen some, I mean, shoot, I've flown into New York like that, where it's just still like a blanket of snow, and somehow we land, somehow we make it, somehow everything's fine. But still, I mean, it could have very well been exactly what that is. A gust of wind that just hit the plane wrong or something, right? And no, I'm not a pilot. I'm saying like flying in planes and landing on runways where it's just you're flying into a snowstorm, right? Or you're flying out of a snowstorm. You know, that stuff is scary. That stuff is really, really scary. And don't get me wrong, you know, I've spoken to a lot of pilots while, you know, if they're sitting next to me on a flight and stuff like that, and they're saying, hey, you know, some of these guys, some or all of our guys, you know, that are flying these planes, they are top of the top. They are the best of the best. Some of them have flown in worst conditions or with worst type of planes, right? With the worst type of equipment. You know, they're like, don't worry, these are the best of the best, right? But still, I mean, freak accidents do happen. Things like that, things like what this sounds like happen, right? But it's still just a terrifying thought. Nonetheless, it's still an absolutely terrifying thought. Let me see. And again, like I said, if it's really windy out there, if it's really snowy, you put all those things into consideration, and then you're trying to land, bad things can happen. You know, accidents do happen. Does this help? Hell no. But it does make you want to know and understand why this is all happening. But hold on. Checking a few more things. Let me see here. Let's see. Some crazy stuff, guys. Crazy stuff. Let's take a look at this. I'm going to move it up a little bit. Shoot. And interesting, you guys are talking about like bird flu and all that. So we got birds that are sick, you know what I mean? They're taking out birds, and then even our literal birds are having problems too. You know what I mean? Like our literal, or not our literal, but our mechanical birds are now having problems as well. What's going on, right? What the hell is going on? Let me get these Mimi, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Mystical Sparrow, thank you so much for the love. Don't mean to be a conspiracy theorist, but what if this is to distract us from other things like politics, protests, Luigi, etc.? There could be a technology doing this. Remember the drones? Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's. I don't see. Here's the thing. It's okay to wear the tinfoil hat. It's okay to have a little bit of a sprinkle, a skosh, okay, of conspiracy theory. I think that's okay. All right. I don't think there's anything wrong with you asking, thinking outside the box and asking some questions like that. Because again, a lot of the weird things have been happening as of late when it comes to things flying in the sky. Drones have been very interesting. Planes dropping from the sky, very weird. So, of course, we want to know the truth. We want to know exactly what happened here and why this is consistently happening. We had a Learjet, medical Learjet, right? Just drop out from the sky out of nowhere. Have we ever found out exactly why that plane just dropped out of the sky and dropped like a freaking missile in northern Philadelphia? Have we even heard that yet? The actual facts on why it went down. Sure, they're giving us more information about the Black Hawk and the plane colliding, okay, in DC. They've given us some information, but again, I don't know, man. It's like this being a distraction from what's going on politically. I doubt it. I mean, like I said in this morning show, there are protests going on in DC, so it's not distracting people. People are still going out and making their voices heard about whatever they're in their feelings about politically. So it's not really distraction, you know? The one thing I could see this being is this could potentially hurt the funds or the economy for traveling, because less and less people are going to want to fly. Do you want to be in a plane that flips upside down? Hell no. You know what I mean? So I could see a lot of people, I could see this hurting the travel industry. That's what I see. And again, I think if this was a distraction, I think there'd be a lot more going on. I think there would be a whole lot more. It would be more than just, a plane here and a plane there. I truly believe that these are accidents that are just happening. And I know that's very unfortunate, but those are accidents that are happening. And I think that, yes, it's going to make people slow down, basically going, oh, I'm not going to Cancun, I guess. I'm going to take a road trip to Fort Lauderdale, but, like I said, these planes falling, terrifying stuff, guys. Terrifying stuff. Okay. Yeah, and then also on top of that, there's going to be like this huge Arctic blast that's going to be hitting the Midwest and East Coast here, like tonight and going on until I think Wednesday, if I'm correct. Like it's gonna be bad, right? This Arctic blast, I guess, has already been hitting other areas. Like I said, this is all just very unfortunate and scary, all at the same time. And of course, we're all still trying to find out. Like right now, they haven't really said much. There's not much left, except for now we have 15 injured. But let me check one more time. I'm just checking to see what the updates are. Right now, they're still saying 15 people injured, which I'm going to change my title here real quick. It's terrifying stuff. 15 injured. And they said 2 critically injured. Terrifying stuff, y'all. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. 15 injured, 2 critically injured, but they say the injuries are not life-threatening, so that's good. That's always good news. But yeah, I'm wondering what the hell is going on here. You know, what actually caused this to happen, right? What actually is the thing that caused this to happen? This is so crazy. This is so crazy. I'm just checking a few more things. See if there's anything else. Diggity dang. Yeah, there's not a whole lot more other than that right now. But I'll tell you this, we're gonna find out more here. I'm sure. We're gonna find out more information here very, very soon. I am sure. Okay. And I'm telling you right now, this is, like I said, this is just crazy. If you are traveling anytime soon, just understand that just travel safely. Okay. Just, and it's not like, I don't think that every single time a plane takes off, it's just doomed to crash. I don't think that at all. But we do have to be mindful of just being safe, because there's a lot of things that are not in our power, in our control when it comes to flying. Okay, we can't fly the planes ourselves. Okay, but just know that you are in the best. These pilots are very skilled and very good at what they do, but there are accidents that do happen. Accidents happen. In this particular one, thank God no one lost their lives, and that the ones that are critically injured, is not life threatening. I'm very thankful for that, for real. But darling. Oh, my darling Clementine. Yes, darling. Okay, something's definitely going on. Something's up. Something really weird is going on. I don't know what it is, but if you have to travel, if you have to fly to where you got to get to, then that's the only choice you got, right? Just understand that, you have the best of the best flying those planes and making sure you get there in one piece, right? But I think that this is a huge combination of a bunch of different things all at the same time. It's very unfortunate. It's scary. It definitely is scary. But just understand that you have the best of the best helping you and making sure you get to your final destination, right? But then at the same time, if it really is something that's bothering you, then maybe then take a road trip for now, until this kind of stuff stops, which I'm hoping is very soon. But somebody has to step up and say what actually happened here and why this thing happened the way it happened. And when they do, because I'm sure there's going to be a press conference at some point tonight or at some point today, we will be taking a look at that and talking about it for sure. Okay. Trust and believe. All right. But for now, okay, I'm going to hop off. When we find out more information, I'll be back on to talk about that too. But there are so many other things. There's a lot going on here. I'm going to keep an eye on this, but there are a lot of other things that are percolating out here in these streets that we need to talk about as well. So that is the show, okay? But trust me, I'm keeping an eye on this because this is scary stuff. Real talk, scary, scary, scary. So we will be talking about this more very, very soon, okay? If there is a press conference, most likely I'll hop back on to chop it up with you guys about that here very, very soon. Okay, guys? But it is time to get going. I will be talking to you guys very soon. Have a safe rest of your day, okay? Stay safe out there, and we'll be talking very, very soon, okay? Hit that like button down below, please and thank you. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on those other platforms. If you are watching on those other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, show some love. Follow. Hit that follow button. Subscribe here on my main channel. Go to my secondary channel, The Pascal Show Clips. I do have some other videos coming out very, very soon on the secondary channel. It's a lot of things covering Kanye, Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively. So be sure to tune in because there's some new developments going on here as we speak. So be on the lookout for that. All right. Hit those notification bells for both channels. Okay. Don't forget to hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. Check out my locals. And of course, check out pascalmerch.com. Okay. Okay, guys. Stay safe out there. We'll talk very, very soon. Okay. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.